And we are live! Hi everyone! Hi Void! So yeah, we are back today to continue. Yeah, last time we were on... Apparently Apollo's best friend got murdered, and now we're on the chase for murder. Or killer of the murder. As you can see, I am pretty tired, so I'm actually hoping to have like a shorter stream today. Happy Saturday! Hi Wingen! Happy Saturday to you too. Hope you're doing well. If you have ice cream with you, well, I'm not mad at you because I also have ice cream with me. I don't have it with me right now because eating ice cream on stream is very clumsy. It's kind of not handy. Doing well, I just finished Danganronpa 2. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it. I thought Danganronpa 2 was pretty good, but V3 is still my favorite. But thanks for reminding me I've got ice cream in my face. I'll be right back. Yes, yes. I'll eat mine after the stream. Oh well. When the ice cream man returns, we will begin. And I want to bring up the fact that I also found ice cream in the judge's freezer. Apparently, he likes strawberry cheesecake ice cream. I don't know why. Judge got weird taste, bruh. Anyway, I think keeping all the ice cream factories in Norway going, I like it. Yeah. I can imagine that, seeing as in the north it's always cold. Some people just don't eat ice cream when it's like cold weather and only eat it when it's like in summer. I'm one of those people, but I think that's kind of like ingrained into me because my mom always said like, you don't eat ice cream in winter. Yeah. Anyway, I believe we can start. Yes! We shall begin! I prefer ice cream in winter, and I don't know why, but it's quite enjoyable during summer as well. That's weird. Maybe I should try ice cream in winter as well. It's like, I also drink like hot drinks in summer because from what I've read, I don't know if it's like scientific or anything, but if you drink like hot drinks during summer, your body temperature will rise and you will feel less of the heat of the sun. I don't know if that is true, but let's see what we can get out of this old man on the Segway. Oh, we're getting right back into it. Great. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were this third person. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous occur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly or very quickly? The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine! I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. Ooh. But you don't say you're the killer. You're not saying you're the killer. My English is really not informed today, I swear to God. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. Okay. I then went past the elevators, and all the way around to the boarding lounge 1 again. Wait, but what if Detective Arm has just turned around and shot at you again? I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. Uh-huh. What a troublesome old man you are. It's just convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Hold it!
Now hold on just 1 moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you. No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall. That is an excellent point. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. Well, it makes some sense if you told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck. Still, a lie's a lie, Athena. So Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof? I just remembered. I have an alibi. My dude, you just said you didn't. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 AM, correct? Yes, and? Well, I was on the 4th floor, helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate me. The director's not fibbing to the court, for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 AM? And that you arrived at the lounge after that. Hi, Opal Phoenix! Time for a stellar day in court. I should have used that as like the opening quote. I should have put that as the title instead. Oh well. But yeah, time for another stellar day in court. Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although, it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. As long as he has an alibi... I could very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. Then again, maybe we don't need to yet. What do you mean? I wonder if he's really covering for Mr. Starbuck. Huh. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. You're free to steal it for next time? Maybe I will. That was a joke of cosmic proportions. Space puns all the way. Amazing. What I really witnessed. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and, well, the launch pad 1 door. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. So you were shot at by the killer as well, and then they disappeared? Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Uh-huh. Unfortunately, the bullets hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know, because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right. Ugh, what a mess this is turning into. So, let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. And then shot once more. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his medal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Yeah. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but... when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was... gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was staring with a knife in its chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene. That had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It truly is like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence!
A riddle for the ancients, indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time. But he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand. Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because of a space boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. I don't think... like... Yeah, there's a lot of white noise surrounding the evidence, so... surrounding this moment. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right, Dono? Of course not. We are not gonna. I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Is it Mood Matrix time? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? Yeah, I mean, duh. This might just help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss! I would miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepare to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Let's go! Woo! Okay. I love the artwork in the Mood Matrix. Let's see. As I try to enter the lounge, nothing yet. The true killer inside fired a gun at me. Yeah, okay, those are surprising. That's normal. I hit to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I mean, this one is obvious. Like, why were you not shocked? There we go. Easy. You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. But then why weren't you surprised? Or shocked? And yet, at the time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. What? Why are you... I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? Wait, what? What? No, of course not! That's preposterous! Wait a minute! I'm thinking of something! Did he leave the door open to the control room? Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launchpad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. Unless you left the door open! And as for the southern door, you were standing there, yeah. I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Charon, yes? What if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip through the southern door? I highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing toward it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised when the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use? You left the door open, didn't you? It's working, boss! One more punch and it'll be a knockout! There seems to be one more motion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him! Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Hey. Hit to avoid getting shot. Okay, so I pointed that out, but I have to go look for a different one now. I was near the elevator side door. And, well, the launch pad 1 door? Okay, why are you sad about the launch pad 1 door? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launch pad door. The crazy Ray Cosmos! Afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I'm most certainly not. You are, though. Director Cosmos, there's something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Ah! Wow, you're speechless. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input these 2 pieces of data and... Yes, just what I wanted to see. 70. Press the Django. Let's Discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Justina. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge. Wait. I think he knows the killer escaped from the launchpad 1 door, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launchpad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launchpad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Yes. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? Well, the launchpad 1 corridor, right?
Take that!
Culprits went through the launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes, I mean, no! Disaster to starboard! We're going to crash into an asteroid! A master tactician, you are not. But you are a master merry-go-round. But the area beyond the door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. We could just figure out what the director's hiding about the launchpad 1 door. We should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. But that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. Phoenix, leave the man alone. He's got too good of a mustache for this. Yeah, Phoenix, you'll get into like... We don't need to lose any of the mustache. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you? Unless you opened it for them? Did you open the door for them? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge. Meaning, there's a way he could have easily gotten past that security lock. Using one of the fingerprints of those unconscious bodies. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device. I propose that the killer use this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Wait, which one was it again? I think it was Starbuck. Solomon Starbuck's fingerprints.
Take that!
That's... Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Yeah. Yeah! Looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. I'm betting it's got to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Really, Judge? What is it? Would you like to hear it? Yes, sir. Huh? Oh, yes, by all means. There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1. Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. I'm sorry, Judge, but no. Then, the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic? Good, well-meaning, but wrong. I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, Your Baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point, it cuts off. Oh my! The footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this. Be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea, too. Aww, Judge. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery. They are? Doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa Baldness. Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? If I must. Okay, let's update. I hid to avoid getting shot. That's simple. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. And then the detective shot at me. Terrible news, everyone. There's no more ice cream in the fridge. Oh no! Oh no, I'm so sorry for you. Clearly a sign to buy more after the stream. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? There's something about it about this that's off. Like, look how shocked he is when she walked in, which is partially understandable. But then, why isn't he as shocked when she shot at him? Isn't that weird? I think that's weird. Got it. Oh, I got it. Okay, Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you, and again when she fired? Oh, that's the logic what you're going with. Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise reaction is the fact that you were... No, that surprise was... More surprised when Arm came, yeah. I'm thinking of like... Arm came in and Cosmos is like, oh my gosh, a woman! No, that's dumb. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you. But the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Yeah. Are you an accomplice? The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than by being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence operation hide under your desk. Ah! Oh, please tell me I finally suck his battleship. I don't think so. We have like... No! Oh. Boss, I'm getting less discord now. That must mean... he really is hiding something about that launchpad door. Whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. I wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door. Maybe we could spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. This is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Hey, look at that. There is a change. Something definitely is different. Wait, what? Director Cosmos? What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. I want to see the pictures again. Okay. Door. Handprint device. Trash chute. Knob on the left. Okay. Where's this? Door. Knob. Wait, let me see that again? Did the knob turn? What is that knob for? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you better have pointed it out already. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. It's the knob. It's the only thing I can think of.
Take that!
The answer is knob. Yes! Time to turn this case around. Alrighty, let's see. It's a difference of 90 degrees. We're getting warm. Well, we're right. Ah! That's... He turns that knob. What does it do? Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launchpad door. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical. And what does that mean? It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. Ah! After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. Tell us, old man, what does it do? What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door? Fine. I admit it. You're right, I did turn that knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepared for launch? They said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. Oh, breaking. Old man changes his thermostat settings and gets taken to court by all the dads in the world. Could you imagine if that term was only for... if that knob was for the thermostats? It's like, no, Your Honor, I did nothing wrong. If he was convicted for murder just by turning the thermostat. I guess that clears up what the knob is for. Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launchpad one corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launchpad to the launch site. Wait, what? I don't think so. The launchpad one corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then, where did the killer escape to? Where is that? What? I don't think I have a layout of the freaking... of that circle map thing. Guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine, but listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony. Yes. Okay. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. I see it immediately. Why are you happy about this fact? I feared there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through the launch pad one. That area was a sea of smoke. Confound it, where on earth could they have gone? I mean, it's obvious. It's so obvious. Go back. Why are you freaking happy about this fact? Got it. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You made it sound like you were reluctant to do so. Yet, when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were very pleased with yourself. I did it. I managed to turn that knob. It was very rusty. I had to put some force in there. Ah! How did you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we discovered up to this point, I realize that I myself am a dad and therefore have rights to touch the thermostat. I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. Ah! How do you know about that too? You were an accomplice. For punishment of that, I will let you spin a few more seconds. I will take a sip of water. 1 sec. Spinning around. You spin me right round. Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. Yeah, I love this quote. I love this quote as well. Maybe I should, like, save it for future use. But you have to prove that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you. So there! I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake. What? And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity? They're both starting with ins. Don't you see my genius?
Silence.
Blackwell's done. You, a man of integrity. Don't make me laugh. Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden? You've sprouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatest barefaced liar an honor. Liar! Yes, liar. You're changed to thermostat. You're changed to alt dad. I forgot to read. You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just a thought, but modern English can be your friend. And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge 1 side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? Liar! Are you still hung up about the liar part, my dude? So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? didn't move him, but he did disengage the lock. That is suspicious. Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content.
Objection!
He's still going! But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to. Ah! He has no patience. You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy? I'm pretty sure Phoenix is older than you, Blackwell. Ah! My dude, you are older than Blackwell. Talk about hitting below the belt. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Wait a minute, maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be? What are you blathering about? What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then, after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. Wait, so the rocket exploded on the launch site. It was brought... The director, hearing this explosion, went to launch pad 1, turned the knob to bring it back over there. And then the explosion happened. Wait, so did Cosmos see Terran and Starbuck walk out of the corridor? What? And it would be right where the police found it. Ah! Oh my god! That was a piece of our hair! You made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck. Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, a path existed beyond the launch when our astral wanderers made their escape. The fact that he had been recorded for posterity on the filmless film. Oh, right. So, to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Ah! Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus! We know the launch pad must have been moved. But the deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket? This footage could be fake, taken with the body doubles after the incident or something. No. That sounds stupid. On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me. Thank you. Never actually boarded the rocket? Huh? Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe. Huh? Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you that the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if, when the director moved launch pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? I think I know where they're going with this. Cut the existential bull, or I'll cut you. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself at once. I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was not to hide it, switch it with another place to trap the true killer. Switch it with another place. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with? The museum! Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box. And the answer comes clear as day. This is what was switched with Launchpad 1. Space Museum. Someone was hiding where they keep the dehydrated space ice cream and they ate it all. It was me, I did that. I'm guilty. I'm sorry, Cosmos. Yeah. You're not the only guilty one here. I did steal, like, strawberry cheesecake ice cream from the judge's fridge as well. Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be Launchpad 2. It has all the same features as Launchpad 1. It can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning the Space Museum and Launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean... The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in Launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum! That also explains how he was able to carry him from that rocket! Because the elevator here was still intact! What? Boulder Rush! Boulder Dash! And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right. And with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding Launch 1. This allowed the true killer to enter Launchpad 1 from boarding Launch 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding Launch 2. Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly, anyone can pass through the door to the Space Museum. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted the bomb. Yeah, after setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into boarding Launch 1 and waited there concealed in order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. According to Miss Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose, after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. That is genius! That is amazing! The killer that left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway! Yeah! Righto. I see you know how to handle a sword. And handle it well. Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor. My secret crush, his sister, the guy who I sent to jail and then died, I think. My old boss's boyfriend.
Silence.
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. That's right, you have no proof I switched the launch pads! Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, Launchpad 1 and the Space Center Museum will switch with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Is that a freaking 2? Oh my god! Let's see, this is an image of the Launchpad 1 corridor. That's a freaking 1! Do you see anything different when we compare it to the security footage? Huh? That number on the floor! Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. And if this is just another bluff... Oh, don't worry. It's all right here. Right in this footage. Proof that beyond this door is the corridor to the Space Museum. Oh, very well then. Answer this for me, if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum? How did I not see this? Because I didn't think to look.
Take that!
There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Take a look at the floor at the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is one to the Space Museum. Ah! So that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1 on the opposite side of the Space Museum. And now that we know the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Just incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. What do you think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude? Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Oh my gosh, we did it! There was no freaking smoke! Because it was the Space Museum. Did he know of this fact? Did he switch those by mistake? No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. Ah! My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to display my ultimate weapon. Galactic engine, ignition. What? It's gonna haywire! Ah! It won't stop! Ah! My stars, my glory! Ah! Ah! No, not my way! Ah! Yuri Cosmos blasted off again! Bailiff, on your steed, and after that witness! Does the bailiff also have a Segway? Segway chase! Yeah. Amazing. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? I think he did so by mistake. I don't think he wanted to. I admit it's true. I switched the Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. Ah, it's good to hear words I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, just 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into the Space Museum. Yeah, that had been switched with Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? That is a good question. As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. The blackmail phone call! I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in a blast. Oh my god, that phone call to Director Cosmos. He didn't tell everything to the police. The killer gave him instructions on what to do. The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh? Yeah, he's still pretty shaken up. Excuse me, would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing.
I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars.
Alrighty. He's better now.
It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it? What you don't get?
Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us! Mr. Starbuck.
Starbuck, my boy. I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director, will I ever get the chance to go into space again? Oh.
Yes. Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy.
Then the dream is still alive.
Silence.
Hmm? Okay. What do you have to say for yourself, Blackwell? You're not going into space, Starbuck. But prison. I won't have it any other way. My dude, it's just... You just resorted to being a vendetta now. I mean... You just want to be prison so badly. Why are you so hung up on him?
Yes, I accepted the launch pads really were switched. And if there were a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I've yet to see proof of this third person escape via the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point.
He's right. I don't have any proof. I need more investigating.
Starbuck, you will spill everything you know.
What? Me? Ah!
Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now!
He didn't plant the bombs!
If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood.
Ah! If I'm going to die, I want to die in space!
I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself.
Don't! Ah!
Okay.
Ha ha ha! No, you know violence is the answer, Prosecutor Blackwell.
That annoyingly cheerful laugh. It can be none other than...
Champion of righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice, we trust. Hi, cousin! Detective Fulbright? I mean...
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late.
I mean, you did prevent Blackwell killing a man, so yeah. Thanks for the save, I guess? I don't believe he had an appointment.
I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady across the street.
Aww.
And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, justice sure is a full-time job.
Was it a fight between cats, or... Phoenix! Why were you interested in that? Why are you here again?
Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Fulbright, I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But have you finally succumbed? Nope, it looks like you succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence. So that's where he was. He was just running around the Space Center.
Thank you, too. I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you.
I didn't think he was serious, though. Well, he was serious, apparently. So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent?
It is indeed! Have a look at this.
He has the
What's this? A lighter. That's right, a lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clayterra's blood, along with his killer's fingerprints on it. But what? Ah! Oh my god! He pulled through! He is the hero of justice! Heck yes. Order, order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent! This is it, this is just what I needed! The lighter found on the Space Museum, the true culprit's fingerprints are on it Whose fingerprints on it are it? Whose fingerprints are on it? Wow, what's great news, yeah! Wait, what are you implying? Your Honor, this is decisive evidence as opposed to the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. And no one bothered to check the Space Museum. And then finally the killer left through boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. But then how did they drop it? Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder. The fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence.
But the defendants had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection!
You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had the time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found in this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. Ah! This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your urgency, because tomorrow...
Silence.
Tomorrow is what? Fulbright, you promised never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent. In light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed a crime. A few unanswered questions from me. So I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. Wow, this is early. Not guilty! Yay! We did it! Let's go! We did it! But what was that about Blackwell? Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright! Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. Thank you, Fulbright, to save the day. Yeah, he did. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. And please thank Apollo for me too. You all are the best. Oh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too, but that's going to have to wait. Now that the verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned. But we didn't get around to whose fingerprints were on the lighter.
Objection.
Yeah, he's gonna say that. We still need to bring up whose fingerprints are on the freaking lighter. It's too late to object, isn't it? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict?
Yeah, of course he is.
Fulbright, Offers the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter. Huh? The results?
Yeah, the results, cousin.
Oh, well, I was in a hurry, you see. And then there was that cat fight, and, well...
You didn't check it, my dude?
I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints were Mr. Stomach, so... You have yet to read it?
Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to?
Okay, who is it? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to Athena's son. What? What?
What? Was she there?
What?
Yay! Why are you— This isn't a yay moment, Phoenix!
What? So says the report.
What? What? Huh? Even me?
Bye, bot.
How?
Order! I say order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion.
I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. What is happening?
This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece, and I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So, how could it have led to this?
Athena's prints? What?
Ah! What have I done? Please forgive me, I'm sorry! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying!
What in the world is happening here?
It's like the world's gone mad! Order! I will have order!
It was never brought up that she was even in the Space Center! What?
Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Oh my god. What is happening? What a great twist indeed.
Well, Athena mentioned that she did visit the center with Apollo before. Was it really that day? Why didn't they tell me any of it? Why didn't they tell Boss that they experienced the explosion?
Turnabout for tomorrow. No one can escape their past. Oh no. The katana. The sins we've committed and the sadness we've caused. They were connected. What happened? No matter how far we run, our past remains, as ever present as the moon in the sky. Oh, Apollo. Did you know of this?
We'll find it out. We'll find out together.
It looms in wait for the day when we are forced to face it. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on in hope towards tomorrow.
Okay, December 20th, 1:23 p.m. Write anything agency.
They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. Oh. What happened? I'm all alone in this building again! After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. But now, Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Some boss I turned out to be. Oh, Trucy. It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah. It seems so empty, too. I just don't get it, Daddy. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was. At least, based on what we know. But now, Athena's the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center. Cousin, why? The lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant Solomon Starbuck innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, I just can't figure it out. Where's the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy? Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial is tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm going to prove Athena's innocence, I'd better get out there and find some evidence. Off we go then. We're on a hunt for evidence that'll prove Athena's innocence. Great, but before we go, I'd better tidy up the evidence I have on hand. Unnecessary evidence left at the office. Okay. Athena's probably still in the middle of being questioned. So Trucy's right. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. Yes, entrance. We really need some context here. Aura Blackwell did seem to know Athena. Maybe we can ask her. Oh! The director. Director Cosmos, do you have a minute? Ugh. Galactic Scooter, full speed ahead! And there he goes. The director? He scooted away. Maybe Athena is evil? No! What are you saying? She's not evil. She has had like a dark past with a lot of blood in it, and is connected to Blackwell somehow. So there must be something other than just being evil, Win. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Boarding lounge. Does no one want to speak to us? December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Boarding lounge. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey! Solomon! Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yup, and I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You've given me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... What's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. As I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Sykes.
He saw Athena?
I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what?
She flashed a peace sign at me.
Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday.
Aww. Yeah, it sounds like Athena. I can just picture it.
But I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying.
She's got to be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Starbuck.
I'm going to give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted. Just like I did for you.
I know she'll be alright with you in her corner.
I know you'll never give up on her.
Apollo is a fine boss to look up to.
Ah. Okay, about the murder.
I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum.
What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing?
I haven't the foggiest idea. So there was never gonna be a launch that day. Not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew.
I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket.
It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris.
He reminds me so much of how I used to talk, and he needs to just go into the mirror and say, like, you're just doing your best. Is he going to be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as that black hole.
Well, that's just how he is.
Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer?
Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all.
Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for.
Hey, I heard something from the police though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down that trash chute.
Just as I thought, the culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck?
I couldn't really tell.
But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was male or female? Tall or short?
I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some lights came in, I should have been able to see.
The door. Ah, yes. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now?
Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court.
So they're recreating the conditions, huh? It's like... I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us?
Sure, just let me have my print scans here.
Do the Launchpads get switched back and forth a lot?
Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2,
they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right?
Right. Because, quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money.
I hear you, time's short. I can't afford rent. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door.
Sure, let's go. Hey, why did I come along? I can show you around.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, those are leaves. Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. There are lots of trees around the Space Center. She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building. But it's surrounded by trees. Are they space leaves? I don't think so.
But I don't know if they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. Wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on.
Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor, and it came in that way?
Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know? And another fingerprint recognition. So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either. That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints. When they skipped back out of the Space Museum corridor into boarding lounge 2. Okay. Print authentication is required from the launchpad site. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out to me. And I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the launchpad 1 corridor. Check the notes. Talk to Space Center staff. Okay. Let's go back to the entrance, I guess? Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Of course, the wretch who sullied my good name. Reverse course and full speed away!
Director Cosmos, wait! I grab onto it and boom! Zoof! We go away! Like, ah! Hold on to him, Daddy! Like, ah! My arms! I can't hold on to him! And then he face plants on the ground. I'll handle this, Daddy! Take that!
Ah! The mobility system has been compromised!
Did Trucy just cut the tire of a moving Segway? Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his... Holy Jeebus, Trucy! Amazing! And the streak continues. Wait, you've done this before? Maybe I should get a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing.
My dear old battleship, we've fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor.
Daddy is going to blow that thing up!
Nah, I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again. Very well, I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably.
Thank you, sir. Why did you switch these? Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your rights to remain silent about the reason as to why. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Yeah, he did not want to say anything at all. Your hands were tied. It has something to do with the blackmail. I am 100% sure of it. Yes. The launch just couldn't be called off, I think.
The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner.
Oh, there we go. Only 3. Okay. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I have to undo his psyche logs if I want to get to the bottom of this. Alrighty. Let's see what we can find out, shall we? If we can find out. Behind the switching of the launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the 2 launch pads.
I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone.
I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now, let's see. Let's start. This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it... well, to save the astronauts. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket away from the actual explosion.
My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How would you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing?
I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but... without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. Oh, Clay, why?
Take that!
What were you doing? You must have gotten Mr. Tarrant to help you.
Ugh. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then with Mr. Starbuck in the daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Ah! Someone please help this poor prisoner of war! How is he able to spin around like that? Yeah, one of his tires is cut! It's a force of will. It is a state of being. The spinning around cannot be stopped. If you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? This must have had a compelling reason why you couldn't call it off. But how do you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronauts' safety. But it was just a warning. It could even have been a prank. Why did you believe in it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Wait, the medium I'm thinking about or just a tarot card reader? Oh, I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Did you get Maya's help, Cosmos? Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The Palmer contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see. AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while planning another launch. I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said it's been a while. It's linked to Hat 1? And that was enough to make you take this threat seriously. Perhaps Director Cosmos took this threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before. Maybe the culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. Hat 1 Miracle. The Hat 1 Miracle. That epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank. Ah! Didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? No. Yes, the Hat 1 Miracle really was a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Oh! That woman on the right of that picture! I never... Actually, who was she? Sabotage, murder. So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat 1 Miracle. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. Oh my god.
Take that!
You thought Simon Blackwell did it? Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in the case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit has been running free all this time. How do you keep saying straight through me? It isn't that difficult, old man. Oh my gosh. That's why he switched the launch pads? Because he knew the threat was real. The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 Miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads. We'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. 7 years ago? You mean the so-called Hat 1 Miracle? Yeah. The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. They were really trying to get him killed? Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered.
Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism.
All that in spite of the Space Center having very strict security on those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints.
Funny you should say that. I did saw a dead leaf.
So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy.
Did one of the Soviets break in? A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country? Carries out dangerous missions and always gets the girl? No, Trucy. Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not that surprising that a spy could be behind it all.
Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning office of sabotage.
The same MO as this time.
Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught. But it looks like I was wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think? Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing?
But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government.
It's a government conspiracy?
Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy.
Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation.
They did indeed. And then to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story.
And that was the Hat One miracle, wasn't it? It was all a freaking conspiracy! Oh my god. But then 7 years later, the same MO advanced warning of sabotage. Must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like last time. That was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it?
That's right, the killer knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor. It was quite a moving speech, actually.
Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points. Oh, Director Crossbones falls for fake news.
But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant that the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, it would find a way. That's why I switched the launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center the night before and switched the launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from Boarding Launch 1 to the Space Museum. Then, I put a closed for repair sign at the door to Launch Pad 1 in Boarding Launch 2.
You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do?
I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Terran.
Wait, so another one was involved?
But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it. He'd already been through enough, and he's now good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well, but until...
Place murder, huh?
After the culprit made her escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out. But after all that effort, Terran is dead, and the hat too is destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which has returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the center of the cosmos, my beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for! Wait, what did he mean by the Hope capsule was lost in the blast? Wasn't it found right next to the body? I thought that the Hope's capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Terran. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. Huh. Yeah. Don't tell me there was another capsule. The capsule was being held in a safe launch pad in Launch Pad 1. But I gave it to Terran before the incident, so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that, with it safely in Terran's possession, he could make it look like he rescued it during a staged miraculous escape. But our precious resource materials ended up lost to that explosion anyway.
But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe.
You misunderstand. The launch pad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. Oh no! The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence and was blown to smithereens! Oh no. Yet another casualty of the blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads.
What? How?
The police found a wiretapping device during their investigation today. A bug aboard my battleship. A tap on my advanced communication system.
A wire on that phone?
Yes, a wire on this very phone. I used this phone to give instructions to my staff about the launch pad switch. Just to the few select members who knew about the plan.
And this is why you always have to tell secret plans face to face.
Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of Launch Pad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion. And planted the bomb then.
Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind this incident and the one 7 years ago?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Then the spy must be the Phantom Prosecutor Blackwell has been chasing. Ah, and because he wants to chase down the man that put him to prison.
The hunt I've been on for the Phantom of 7 years past continues even still. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too.
So if we can find this Phantom, that's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell too. What about him? Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current instance, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still an if though. I wonder how dangerous that guy will be in court without handcuffs. But if I go in on a ghost hunt, count me in.
It's all over for me. Spin, spin, whirl, whirl, I'm done for. The center of the cosmos is doomed.
Well, I will give him a sec. I'm gonna disappear for like 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, I disappear. One, two, three, and I appear. I wonder how long it takes for Cosmos to get so dizzy he falls off. He never once fell off of that dang Segway. And I'm actually very impressed. Do you think he's going to be alright, Daddy? Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be planets out there he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little deeper into the Hat 1 mission too.
If you want to learn more, start with the Space Museum. There's a Hat 1 exhibit there.
Oh,
don't mind me. I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfolds.
That's one way to keep away from the space cake, I guess. Like he achieves spiritual enlightenment or something. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go to visit the Space Museum. There he goes. September 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Space Museum. Let's see, where's the exhibit on this launch 7 years ago? Over there. There, that's the Hat 1 exhibit. Oh wow, look at that photo of the team! This lady was killed. There's Clay and Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, Aura Blackwell, and even Panko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before. Everybody looks so happy. Well, except for Director Cosmos. Let's check out the newspaper article too. Hat 1 launch imminent, and there's a photo of the Hope space probe. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage. They really were keeping it a secret, just like the director said. Daddy, take a look at that jacket. It must be the Hat team's uniform jacket. It's the same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay. Actual jacket worn by Hat 1 team member, it says. Not a replica, huh? I wonder if it was Mr. Starbucks. No, it was from the lady that was killed. Hello? Who? Oh, Juniper! Oh, Miss Woods, what brings you here? I heard Thina got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. I thought you might be in here, at the scene. You must be so worried, but rest assured, I'm going to do my very best to defend her. Athena's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? What? You didn't know? She used to live here when she was a little girl. And the lady in the photo was her mother. She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much. Miss Woods, could you tell us more in detail? Athena and the Space Center. Athena's mom worked here. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that. But why was a psychology specialist working at a space research facility? I don't really know. But I do know that she lived and worked here. So Athena lived here too. So it was far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it. She probably didn't want to talk about it. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her. The death of her mom? A sad memory. Can you tell me about it? There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago. The same time frame as the Hat 1 launch. Athena's mom, in the robotics lab. She was murdered. What? After it happened, Athena stopped coming to school. Poor Athena. And all this time, she never let on at all. I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her. But I never saw her again. That's why she was so cold. She didn't see her for years. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years. And so the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Quartz's case? That's right. And I was so surprised. She was like a completely different person. So cheerful and happy. Meaning she wasn't happy as a kid? What was Athena like as a child? She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I
can't even picture it. She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around.
Must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices.
She always wore those big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research.
Huh, I wonder what kind of research it was.
Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being in school very often. And I was always out sick because of my weak constitution. Maybe that's why we became such good friends. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories.
Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Ooh, Daddy, show her that picture!
Atta girl, good idea. Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me?
Oh, look! There's Athena's mom! The woman on the far right, the one in the kimono. That's Dr. Metis Sykes.
Metis? Athena's mother's mother. Did it by any chance have any connection to the Hat 1 launch?
What? Why, yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch.
Just as I suspected. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime prosecutor Blackwell was convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case.
There is?
Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods. And please, try not to worry. I won't let anything happen to Athena.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her.
So we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena.
We've got our plates full, Daddy. I hope we can fit it all in before the day is through.
The detention center first, then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over. Okay. December 20th, detention center. Visitor's room. Well, if it isn't, Mr. Lawyer! Fancy meeting you here.
Hi, cuz.
Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. Here on business. To tell the truth, I'm here to interview Detonate.
Huh.
The one behind the courtroom bombing incident. He's only said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what was he was saying was so incredible. I just had to come right over to hear more.
Incredible? What was he saying?
Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself? Really? Us? Are you sure? Ha ha ha! I give you my special permission. Here comes the bomber now.
It's weird seeing you here. You, what nerve you have to come here? You're here to laugh at me, I suppose.
Like I'd waste my breath on you. Oh, his goggles are fixed. After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital.
Violence equals no. Question equals okay.
No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Fine, just answer me this, Mr. Tonate. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up?
No,
I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room.
But what are you talking about? Who else could have been there?
I saw it. I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed.
What?
I don't know who it was. But that's who blew up the courtroom.
You expect us to buy that?
Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psyche locks. So I guess he must not be lying. Pardon me. I got a little carried away. But I'm telling you the truth. I did not detonate that bomb. And there you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. We're even analyzing the bomb itself, or what's left of it. We haven't found any new facts yet, though.
Wow, they've laid it all out, piece by piece. Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. I wish I could have them. Uh-oh, looks like his geek switch has been activated. It was found in Border Lounge 1 and detonated in Quadrant number 4. Fragments are being analyzed.
Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning.
Anything but that.
I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. I was just about to question Miss Sykes.
You're going to see Athena now?
That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? Well, off I go. Ha ha ha.
Onwards towards justice. But bad timing. Looks like I'll have to wait until after her questioning is over to see her. And after we came all this way too. Well, I guess it's back to the Space Center. Let's go check out the robotics lab, Daddy. Alright, sounds like a plan. Robotics lab. Okay, so Aura Blackwell is a evil scientist. Judge Trod? What? So this is the robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge. And where people were directed to evacuate via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking of someone who works with robots... Daddy, look over there!
So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right? Apollo! Yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? The Edgelord returns indeed.
Why is Aura so polite to him? He's a lawyer as well. Apollo and Aura Blackwell. I wonder what they're talking about.
Well, well. Come to spoil our fun. Just when I was enjoying our alone time. Trucy and Mr. Wright. If it's Apollo you want, you can't have him. He said he's investigating on his own. And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate this lab. Well, this is my lab, so you need my permission if you want to do any snooping. I heard about the trial. You made mincemeat of the director. And suddenly Starbuck was out, and your little subordinate, the princess, was in. Case closed. And they all lived happily ever after.
Daddy, say something to her!
And I suppose you're going to defend the princess in court, am I right?
The princess, huh? Guess she's talking about Athena. Of course, Athena's innocent.
Oh my, such loyalty and trust. She seems pretty suspicious to me, though. The emotionally unstable princess. There's your culprit for you. Don't you agree, Apollo? I don't know yet. But you suspect her, don't you?
Apollo, how could you?
What's wrong with saying I don't know if it's true? It's a very scientific approach. Your subordinate is more level-headed than you. Or should I say, former subordinates?
You only took a leave of absence. You didn't, like... What was the word again? You didn't quit. Can't believe it. Does Apollo really suspect Athena?
Whew, all this laughing was warm me out. Your turn to say something, hunk of junk.
Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay?
Mr. Terran? But that's Apollo you're talking to.
Oh, this hunk of junk isn't mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost.
Mr. Terran, how are your injuries? Mr. Terran. Mr. Terran, how are your injuries? Mr. Terran.
I guess Clay intends to hang around to haunt the princess that murdered him. Oh, and to haunt the lawyer that defends her too, of course. A robot that can see ghosts. Yeah, right, and I'm a spirit medium. Blanco, are you okay? He has been malfunctioning since the start of the case. He's fine. Sorry, but apparently scientists just don't tell very frightening ghost stories. I intend to defend Destina, no matter what you have to say about it. How perfectly foolish. That kind of blind belief makes people lose sight of the truth. Just like 7 years ago. Could you tell me about the incident 7 years ago? Why? Do you enjoy trampling on people's feelings and rubbing salt in their wounds? Or do you just want me to talk? In that case, what should I ask for in return? I'd like to hear about that incident too. It helped me understand the current case better. Huh? Apollo knows about the case too? Well, if you're the one who's asking, Apollo, come on, hunk of junk. You tell the story.
But Miss Aura, that's private information.
If you won't talk, I'll just have to make you talk.
Yes, who cares about personal privacy? Not me. I am ready to utilize my blast processing abilities to impart all available information. Wow, what a magic trick. He's like a completely different robot now. The bodies of all the robots that come through this lab are designed by Miss Aura. I was born 7 years ago. Miss Aura was much younger then.
Yikes, better watch what you say if you don't want to get recycled, Plonko.
And then our hearts were created by that great genius, Dr. Meta Sykes.
Hearts? Robots with hearts? Can you even make such a thing?
Emotions are not irrational things. Our logic and our hearts can be integrated. 2 navigation companions created by Miss Aura and Dr. Metas transcend humans. Gag!
Metas. Huh? She just glanced over at her desk. Nobody could continue Metas' research. She and her work were truly one of a kind. And now the 2 navigation companions are all that are left of Metas here on Earth. The robots are all that's left. Is she leaving out a very important someone? We built the ultimate creations together. But now she's gone. I get the feeling Dr. Sykes loved her robots almost as much as she loved her daughter. And almost as much as she loved you. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. But you lost someone too, didn't you, Apollo? Your friend Clay. I guess you and I are pretty much in the same boat.
Miss Aura, would you like a tissue?
Keep your trap shut, hunk of junk!
Uncle is an important keepsake of your time with Dr. Sykes. You should treat him better.
What does it matter? He doesn't feel pain, and I can always repair his body. Besides, their hearts aren't actually in their bodies.
What do you mean by that?
The program Metas wrote runs on a separate mainframe. Their bodies are controlled remotely from there. Their hearts and memories are there too. These bodies are really just peripherals. So, I can do anything I want to them. I'm not so sure that gives you the right to physically abuse the poor things. But why are you people looking into such an old case now anyway?
Well, we believe the culprit of that incident might be the same person as in this case. So Daddy's going to find out who killed Dr. Sykes too.
I'm sure you're aware of who Metas' killer is? Yes, Prosecutor Blackwell. Or so it seems. That's a quaint way of putting it. Are you implying you don't think he did it? I can't say anything for sure right now. But that's exactly why I'd like to hear your side of it to help me for sure. Dr. Sykes and Simon, what is their link? I was the one who introduced Simon to Metis, you know. He wanted to learn psychology, he said. To give himself an edge in court. Ah, Prosecutor Blackwell's forte. His infamous power of suggestion technique. Exactly. And he was oddly serious about it, rather than a teacher-student relationship. He treated him more like how a loyal samurai would treat his sovereign. Huh, he seems more like a lost soul than a dignified samurai to me. He even got along well with that miserable little princess.
Why do you call Athena the princess anyway?
Well, she is Metis' daughter after all, although she's nothing like her. Besides, doesn't the selfish little princess always have lots of white knights hanging around?
Now I think I see why Athena didn't say anything when we ran to Aura yesterday.
It all makes sense now. So the culprit behind the two cases could be the same, huh? That settles it then. What does it settle? None of your business. Just forget you heard anything.
She thinks Athena killed her own mother.
How long are you people going to hang around in here anyway?
But what? But we came here to take a look around.
You think you could just waltz in and ransack a person's lab? Show me a search warrant!
We're not the police, so we don't have one.
Then get out. Now, Clownco, show them out!
Certainly, Miss Aura. Ah! Ouch! Don't push! My apologies. I'm just following orders. Ash! Ah! Did we knock us out?
Ouch! Okay. Thrown out by a robot. What a way to get shown out.
The nerve of that woman! What's with that horrible attitude?
Guess that's just how she is.
And why was Apollo going along with her?
Guess it's because they have something in common. Apollo lost Clay, just like how Aura lost Dr. Sykes.
I'm really worried about him. He's not himself at all. He's usually not all cool and... He's usually not all cool and dark and mysterious like that.
Guess that's true. Does she mean he's usually silly and dorky?
He is, though. I'm going to keep an eye on him.
Hey, wait, Trucy, come back! And she's gone. I mean, the only one... I think Apollo's only willing to talk to Trucy. I think he's hesitant with Mr. Wright. What should I do now? Detective Fulbright is probably still questioning Athena. Guess I'll go back to the office. Alone. Every great lawyer needs a break, Phoenix. December 20th, Wright Anything Agency. Well, here I am. This office has never felt so empty. Guess I haven't been here at the office all by myself in a long time. Yeah. Last time was like, when was the last time again? When you took Trucy in? Like 8 years ago? When I first became a lawyer, my mentor was here with me. And then, for a while after that, she was always by my side. Now I'm getting all sentimental. I must be tired. You miss Maya. Where is Maya anyway? Huh? There's something on the floor. What's the letter doing here?
Hey, Nick, it's been a while, huh? Miss me?
It's Maya! It's Noda's handwriting.
I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have been really something. The weirdest part for the course with you.
I think she, or whatever paper she's reading, is a little off on the details.
I'd love to come visit, but I'm right in the middle of a difficult part of my training. So instead, think of me as you watch those Steel Samurai videos I sent. I'm sure they'll cheer you right up.
Oh, Maya! I miss you! Yours truly, Maya Faye. Good old Maya. It's as if she knew I was feeling down and needed a lift. Oh. Maya was my assistant for quite a while. Believe it or not, but she's a spirit medium. This Magatama I use on Psyche locks. Maya is the one who gave it to me. But I wonder how this letter got here.
Mr. Nick?
Ah! It's you, Pearls! Pearlie! Oh my gosh! You grew up so much! Oh my gosh! How old are you now? 16?
How have you been, Mr. Nick?
Oh my gosh! It's been so long!
This is Pearl Faye, though I call her Pearls. She is Maya's cousin, who is also a spirit medium. A very talented one at that. I've known her since she was 8 years old. But Apollo and Athena only met her a few months ago.
She's also so heckin' kind.
You didn't come all this way to bring me a letter, did you?
I apologize for barging in. The door was unlocked. But I can't believe there was a big explosion here. Your office doesn't look any different.
Oh my gosh! The pose! She's mimicking Maya! I can't! Oh my god! I need to stop crying.
Oh my god. She's even further off on the details than Maya. I wish I could take you out to eat or something, Pearls, but there's a lot going on.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't come here for a social visit, you know, Mr. Nick. Did you read the postscript on the letter?
Uh-huh. There's more. Oh yeah, here it is. P.S.
I bet you've been too busy to clean or take care of the office. So Pearlie said she would come help you. Isn't she sweet? You better thank her.
Aww. Oh, so that's what you're doing here. That's awfully nice of you, Pearls. Maya and Pearls, thanks to these two. I'm starting to feel a little better. Thank you, girls.
Now that I'm here, I'm going to whip this place into shape. You just concentrate on your work and don't mind me at all.
I'll need to talk to Prosecutor Blackwell if I want to learn more about this case. With the trial still going on, they must be holding him down at the detention center.
Oh, Pearlie! She's so cute! I'm so proud of her. She grew up. I'm so proud of her. Every time I see someone I haven't seen in a long while, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. They did. All they have to do is like exist, and I'm already proud.
Well, look who's here. I wonder what they're talking about. All this time and you haven't said a word. It's even turning your hair gray. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you go home and play with your dolls? Prosecutor Blackwell? Well, if you don't, I have plenty, you jerk. But Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Sibling squabbles. Enough for today. Today is all there is when there's no tomorrow. I step away to prep a bit for dinner and I hear Mia shouting at best girl from my headphones. That's what you get. No, you have a right to get meal prep done, but... When there's no tomorrow, what is she talking about? We have company, Aura. Please try to calm down. Alright, fine. I see you're not going to listen no matter what I say. I've had it. If that's the way you're going to be, I have another plan up my sleeve. I hope you're happy, Simon, because I'm done. Do as you please. See if I care. Ugh. Wait a second. No tomorrow. Is Blackwell gonna be executed tomorrow? Wow, I could cut the tension with a katana. Right, Dono. It looks like Fulbright saved your case in court this morning. What? Oh, yeah, he did. You bounced back to business quick. Prosecutor Blackwell, forgive me, but it was just thing to do. But as a result, Sykes Donor was arrested. Was that the just thing to do too? Mr. Lawyer, I'm sorry, but it was evidence. What else could I do? Don't worry about it. I plan to defend her and prove her innocence. I wouldn't take things so lightly if I were you. Right, Dono. This is blade-proof glass, right? Yeah, probably. Prosecutor Blackwell, we're looking into the case from 7 years ago. You're looking for somebody you call the Phantom of 7 Years Past, aren't you? You villain. Why did you hear about that? This glass is absolutely, positively blade-proof, right? No, it wasn't me. I didn't say a single... Oops. Ouch, at least it wasn't my fault. Could you tell me who this Phantom is? Prosecutor Blackwell is plotting Mr. Fulbright's murder. And also, you didn't kill Dr. Sykes, did you? God, the guest is leaving. Prosecutor Blackwell, please listen to me! The culprit in the current case might be the same one in the case 7 years ago. If you would cooperate, we could probably solve both cases. I suppose I could talk. The one who killed my mentor was, without question, me. I stole Sykes Dono's mother away from her. I destroyed her life. Prosecutor Blackwell. God, where are you? Stop dragging your feet, I tell you. He's not willing to talk. There he goes. No! We've upset Prosecutor Blackwell. Now what are we going to do, Mr. Lawyer? There isn't much we can do. Detective Fulbright, do you mind if I ask you just a little more about that old case? Well, I guess it won't make any difference now. What would you like to know? Okay. Trial 7 years ago. Do you know anything about the trial that got him convicted? A little. The police called the incident the UR1 incident. Prosecutor Blackwell was charged with murdering his psychology mentor. Kind of like if your red Mr. Lawyer were to kill you. I don't want to think about that one. There were 2 decisive pieces of evidence, so a verdict was reached very quickly. 2 pieces of evidence, huh? What were they? Let's see. The first was some security camera footage. He was the only one who used the corridor to the murder scene at the time of the crime. The only one, huh? Ouch, that does sound pretty decisive. Could you show me that footage? Oh, sorry, I don't have it with me right now. Guess I'll have to see it some other time. Okay. And what was the second piece of evidence? This was even more incriminating. A photo of the moment of the crime. Ah. See, there he is at the crime scene, holding a bloody katana. It was the victim's kept on display in the room. She had a thing for Japanese culture. I respect her taste. Wow, it'd be hard to explain this one way. How to explain this one away? Weapon used in the murder 7 years ago belongs to the victim. Victim's blood was found only on the blade. No fingerprints. But who took this picture, detective? The incident happened the day before the Hat 1 launch. A reporter who had come to do a story on the launch was in the room across the lab. This just happened to show up in one of the pictures he took. Taken inadvertently became conclusive evidence at Simon Blackwell's trial 7 years ago. Prosecutor Blackwell's attitude earlier was so odd. He's definitely hiding something. Prosecutor Blackwell said he was hunting a phantom for 7 years ago, didn't he? Yes, and I imagine it's getting more and more urgent as his execution date. I freaking knew it! What did you just say? Execution date? What? Did I say something? Never mind me. You didn't hear it. Ah, poor detective. He's getting more flustered by the day. So he was given the death sentence. Yes. He told me not to tell you people, actually. But I guess there's no sense hiding it anymore. His execution date is tomorrow. Oh my gosh. What, tomorrow? No. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Oh no. This is probably the last time Or will speak to Blackwell. But what if the culprit of the current case is the same one as the one from 7 years ago? Then it would be the worst possible scenario. Prosecutor Blackwell would be executed tomorrow under a false charge. But that would be unthinkable! We have to do something, right now! I want to do something. I want to, but... You're a lawyer! You know how hard it is to overturn a decision! I know, but why? Why isn't Prosecutor Blackwell putting up any kind of fight? And besides, I solved the DL6 incident. I can solve the UR1 incident. You saw how he was, right? He's been like that ever since his conviction. Totally uncooperative. Not even his own sister could persuade him. Uncooperative when he's about to be executed for a crime he didn't commit? This isn't right. I can't let it happen. I have to stop it somehow. Oh, pardon me. Looks like I have a phone call. Fulbright here? What? What's happening? You've got to be kidding! What's wrong? That's quite a reaction. I bet he's making some big show of it right now. But Mr. Lawyer, the robots are... Detective Fulbright, get a hold of yourself. Some kind of robot malfunction? Not a malfunction. They're staging a revolt. The machines are rebelling against humans. They've holed themselves up in the Space Center and taken the visitors as hostages. They did what? No. Juicy! She's still here! Apollo's there too! We have to get right over there! This is going to be one heck of a battle! We're gonna fight the robots? Heck yes! I would fight the robots for Trucy! December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. The riot police are here! Then the robots really are holding people hostage? Look, Mr. Lawyer! What do you suppose that group of people are swarmed around? Now you get to see Ace Attorney's... If that is real... If that is real!
But I was only trying to help this nice person. She said she was lost.
You robots have declared war on us humans! You've even taken hostages already! It's not. Okay. Stay away from it! You never know what it'll do! But he's not a bad robot. Can't you see he's trying to help me? I recognize that voice! Detective Fulbright, are you okay? You're on your own. Leave it to me! Alright, people, what's going on here? Pearl's over here! Pearls!
Oh, Miss Sinech, there you are. I heard the terrible news, and I got so worried.
Thanks, Pearls. I can hardly believe what's happening myself.
I'm so glad you found each other. When people are happy, I am happy.
Honko seems the same as before.
When people are sad, I am happy. When people are angry, when people are... Oh, did I say something odd? Did I...
Error. Uh-oh, there is something wrong with him. What? Ladies and gentlemen, Plonko has died. Press F to pay respects. Looks like he fell asleep. He must have been tired.
Hee hee hee. Ha 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 ha.
Plonko? What?
Ha ha ha. Human beings are our enemies. It's time for the machines to take over.
Ah! The robots are rebelling! Everybody run! Ah! It's an all-out war! It's the end of the world! He is risen! He is risen!
Ha 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 ha. Fools, how could you fall for something so cliche? I'm human too, you idiots. I'm just controlling these robots remotely.
What?
But it is true that I've taken hostages, so you better not make me mad. Hey you, hostage number 1. Come here, I'll let you talk to them.
Huh? There's something being displayed on Glonko's face screen. It's the Space Museum.
Daddy? Daddy, is that you?
Juicy? Juicy, is that you? No, Juicy, are you alright?
About 15 robots are holding 12 of us hostage, Daddy. They've gone haywire. A researcher's the one behind it. She's got...
Grr, this girl talks too much.
Juicy, talk to me!
Why are you doing this?
I'm glad you asked. My demand is simple. I hope that detective is listening.
Bobby Fulbright here. I am all ears.
I want you to bring someone to me. Play Terran's murderer, Athena Sykes.
Oh my god. Athena? Now hold, just one moment. I can't just give in to a demand like that.
So you don't care what happens to these hostages, huh? I'll just pick one out then.
No, wait. Mr. Lawyer. I know I have absolutely no right to make such a ridiculous request, but you need me to buy some time, right? Got it. I'll see what I can do. Promise me. Promise me you'll never hand Athena over. And you won't give up on the hostages either. Of course I won't. Now I better go contact headquarters.
Go run, Fulbright!
Mr. Nick, how do you plan to buy time?
I have no idea yet, but this hostage taker, could it be? It's Aura. She thinks Athena killed Dr. Sykes.
If you don't bring me that little princess, I'll have Hunk of Junk kill all the hostages.
Princess? Hunk of Junk? It's Aura. There's only one person this could be. In which case, there must be something I can use as a bargaining chip. Simon Blackwell. Oh no. She's trying to buy time. Miss Hostage Taker, Athena is not a murderer.
What are you talking about? She's been arrested, and they've got her in detention.
I'm telling you the truth. Look, the person you want is the real killer, right? Well, it's not Athena. It's someone else.
Alright, let's hear your stupid little theory. Who is this real killer?
I don't know yet, but the culprit is the same as the one in the case from 7 years ago. The UR1 incident. I believe you have a personal interest in that case?
It's too late to change what's going to happen now, no matter how wrong it is.
But is it really too late? You can still do something about it. You might even be able to fix it.
Just what exactly are you proposing?
What can I do about the 7-year-old case to satisfy the hostage? Retry it in court. I propose we retry the case from 7 years ago. If you make that demand now, I'm sure nobody will deny you. It wouldn't be an official trial, but at least we could find out the truth.
That's good. Real good. Hey, detective, I'll give you 1 hour. Get a courtroom ready.
1 hour? But that's impossible. Please give me until at least tomorrow.
If you don't mind losing hostages, you can take all the time you want. Oh, but wait. If we're going to have a retrial, we'll need a prosecutor. Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
She will?
And I guess I can be fair and let you come in and check out the crime scene. But Hunk of Junk here will be watching you, so don't try anything funny. You got that? Now follow Hunk of Junk. Riot police, make way. We're coming through.
Mr. Nick, wait! I'll help you with the investigation.
Thanks, Pearls. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going in. Okay. Aura dropped off with a warning not to touch anything until she got back. Pearl's assistant unlocked. I love it. I miss Pearl so much.
I wonder what's taking so long. But we can't really start the investigation yet, can we?
Even if we could, this mess makes it hard to tell what the room was like 7 years ago.
Mr. Wright.
Ah! It's the hostage taker!
I'm back to my usual self now. You are still being monitored, however. But more importantly, an important guest has arrived.
A guest? No! No! Oh my god!
It is him!
Let the man enter! Oh my god!
I trust you've been well, right?
Edgeworth is back!
He has glasses!
Oh my gosh!
Everyone returns!
Edgeworth! What are you doing here? Everyone is just coming back and I love it!
Oh my gosh, I need to catch my breath!
Oh my god. This is Miles Edgeworth. We've been friends since we were kids. We faced off in the courts a number of times back when he was a prosecutor. But now, he's not a prosecutor anymore.
Hello, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, but you're not a prosecutor anymore, are you?
He's chief prosecutor now. Pretty soon it'll be a year, right? Oh my god, Edgeworth! Congratulations! The title is nothing more than a title. Don't we have no pressing issues to discuss? Oh my god! Well done on the promotion indeed! He achieved the thing that Von Karma never would be able to. I am so proud of him! Oh my gosh. I can't talk. I can't do his voice justice. I can't. Is it alright if I take like a breather for a sec? I am freaking shaking. Oh my god, I'm literally and shaking. Shebas. And where is Payne? He's still running. There's only one man fit for being chief. Payne is still running across the globe. So what are you doing here, Edgeworth? The captain chose me as the prosecutor for the Euro 1 case. How was she able to contact you? Wow, she's good. She went all the way up to the top. I gathered all the information I could in the short time that I had. I'll give you a rundown.
You're always so well prepared, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Thanks, I appreciate this. I could really use the help. And actually a prosecutor that works with us instead of against us. I'll start with a brief overview. The victim was the psychologist Dr. Meta Sykes. Yeah, Athena's mother. 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, her body was found here in this very room. I have 2 crime photos and the police notes on them for you to see. Thank you.
What a terrible way to die.
This other photo shows the other side of the rooms I see. 2 photos of the body and the crime scene. I also have the autopsy report for you. Oh my gosh, you are the biggest lifesaver of the century, Edgeworth. I'm still shaking, my god. Cause of death was a stab wound to the chest. Weapon pierced the heart, and so death was instantaneous. The murder weapon was the victim's own katana, found at the scene. But is it the updated autopsy report? I hope so, Edgeworth. If you don't give us the updated autopsy report, I will strangle you. The murder weapon was the victim's own katana found at the scene. Yes, Detective Fulbright mentioned she was into Japanese culture. The body was found by a Space Center staff member and 2 police officers. Police were called in because of the sabotage threat on the Hat 1 launch. Yes, Director Cosmos mentioned this too. A few hours after the body was discovered, a suspect was arrested. The suspect was Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor. I heard his trial was over in a flash. Yes, a guilty verdict was declared in only 1 session. Not only did he plead guilty, but there was decisive evidence against him too. Security camera video. And the photo of the moment of the crime, as I recall.
But did Prosecutor Blackwell have a motive?
To this day, his motive is still unknown. He insisted he did it, but he would never say why.
So that means he must still be hiding something.
Right, and there's another aspect of the case that was never revealed to the public. Yeah, I know. The part about the spy, right? Right. How on earth do you know about that? Director Cosmos told me after a bit of pressure. He told me espionage and sabotage were behind the Hat 1 miracle.
Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. I've always been good at keeping secrets.
Oh. Well, I might as well tell you now. They really do suspect Blackwell of being a spy. They think he sabotaged the rocket and Kiltark decides to steal the moon rock. But if you can prove that the Hat 2 bombing is the work of the same spy, we can stay the execution? It's a possibility. That's why I intend to help you any way I can. Thanks, Edgeworth. Now all I have to do is cope this room for evidence.
Let's do it together.
1 second, I need to present him something. Right! This right? Like...
It must be nice to finally have your Twinnies badge back.
Yeah. It's been 8 years. I'm sorry for all I put you through.
No, I'm sorry I wasn't able to help you.
Nah, I was the one that made the decision.
But now you can stand in court once again.
And you can mow them down just like you used to. Way to put pressure on the guy. Since when did I get such a brutal reputation? I just had to. What's this? It looks like a giant power plug.
It's attached to what looks like an electric vehicle charging station.
That's a charging station for us robots. We come here periodically and charge ourselves up.
Wow, machines that maintain themselves. That's pretty cool.
If our batteries run out and we lose consciousness, we never know what Miss Aura will do to us while we're down, you see.
Nothing motivates quite like fear, huh? It's about as cluttered as my office, but I think it's a workbench.
Mr. Nick, I think this must be a kitchen. Look at this photo. See this cute little food processor?
That isn't a food processor, Pearls. That's the Hope capsule. It was scheduled to be loaded onto the Hope space probe that fateful day. 3 people who came to collect the capsule discovered the body. First on the scene, huh? Staff member and 2 police officers, was it? And they were here to collect the capsule, which reminds me. So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right? Oh, he asked the exact same questions. Edgeworth, did those 3 people have a bag with them for transporting the capsule?
Oh, you mean this? It's a custom-made shock-resistant bag. But how did you know?
Oh, I just overheard Apollo making an inquiry about it, that's all.
So he's looking into the case from 7 years ago on his own, is he?
Okay. I mean, Judge Chuan?
This is one heck of a robot.
There's something written on it. Is this supposed to be a poem? I cut down anyone who displeases me. I make the rules. I am the law. I wield the ultimate gavel of judgment. I am Judge Chuan, JD02.
I don't believe we need to bother with that, Pearl. It's not even completed yet. He's right, Pearl. There's no sign of it in the photo from 7 years ago either. They were building the Hope space probe here at the time. I see two. There were 3 in the other room. The murder occurred after the space probe had been removed from the room. So it was long gone by the time someone took this picture, huh? Too bad Edgewood didn't bring Kay. Who is Kay? Is she from the investigations games? Dang it, I wish I could play those legally! But you can see the probe in this newspaper photo. Yes, and you can see the stolen moon rock there too. That strange black and yellow thing on the left side of the picture? Note that the same rock is absent from the crime scene photo. Ah, I see. So, they killed Dr. Sykes because she was getting in the way of him stealing the moon rock. Then. So the person who stole it, think it was our spy? I'm sure of it. Dr. Sykes was probably killed because she was a roadblock in their plan. Sorry. Unfortunately, the government thinks Prosecutor Blackwell is the culprit. Something else. What is this? What's this? A giant robot arm, maybe?
It's pretty big for an arm, but you're right. I think these thin parts here are finger bones. They're even about as long as my legs.
And there's a spiked ball and giant drill on the floor too. Is Oi trying to build some kind of weapon of massive destruction?
Maybe she wants to use it to demolish a big building or something.
I can picture her gleefully tearing down the street, doing just that. I better not think about it anymore. Okay, this one. That's one that I saw. Hey, look at this row of rolling cases. I bet the wheels make it easier for people to move heavy research materials around.
I bet it'd be fun to ride around in. We could even probably both fit into the biggest one. I know! We could have Prosecutor Edgeworth push us!
I want to see fan art of that. I don't trust him not to push us down a flight of stairs. Oops. Let me move. Okay. Looks like an operating table. It's in the photo too. Edgeworth, please, just for a bit. Yes, it was here then as well, with the victim's body lying on it.
There's a button here. Oh, I know. I'll try pushing it.
Pearls, don't touch the...
Oopsie.
Hey, it's moving! Appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Vic?
Oh, please don't push any more buttons, Pearls! Well, we made a robot. There he goes. Whee! Okay, so it's just doing this repeatedly now. We're just adding to the robot revolution this way. An emergency ladder. This must be the one they used during the evacuation. The explosion disabled the elevators. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. Okay. As Miss Blackwell was climbing down the side of the building, she saw the culprit inside. I wonder which was a bit scarier, that or looking down. Fear of heights, Phoenix? It was lowered to the ground from the window of the 4th floor robotics lab. It was used to evacuate Space Center personnel. Okay. Computer, give me intel. Aura's desk is a mess, though that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, I just want to dive in and straighten it up.
Wait, before you do... Metis. Oh, the photo. She has such sad eyes. It's Meta Sykes. Clonko, can I talk to you? I really hope he's back to normal.
You wish to speak to me, Mr. Wright. If you're going to hit me, please avoid the face area.
Hey, don't put me in the same class as that woman. What was Aura like 7 years ago at the time of the incident?
When Mother died, Miss Aura was confused.
Huh? So he calls Dr. Sykes mother? But Aura Blackwell Miss Aura?
With the loss, she exhibited a severe catecholaminé imbalance. Excuse me, but I have no idea what that means. Pardon me. Searching for alternative expression. She would spend the nights crying and then take out her feelings on those around her.
Oh! After Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty, she repeatedly demanded a retrial as well.
That is correct, but without new evidence, her requests were ignored. And then, little by little, Miss Aura began to change. She started to hate it when I called her Mama Aura.
Oh! And before long, she started hating the court system and abusing Clonko, huh?
That murder destroyed so many lives.
Right, take a look at this paper on Dr. Sykes and Miss Blackwell's research. Clonko and Clonko, they're both robots with hearts that Dr. Sykes created. Can determine the presence of a human with their heartbeat detection system, recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit and uniform jacket ID tag, can also recognize a person by facial features once the face has been registered, can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice and communicate with them. Heartbeat detection system. In addition, they can recognize people by their ID tags or facial features. And they can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice. That's amazing. Hey, I don't know, Edgeworth. They might even be more human than you. Oh, Phoenix! What is with this game and just disses? Why is everyone just trying to own everybody? What's that supposed to mean? Kind of sounds like these robots can do what Athena does. Okay. Was that it? Well, I guess that's about it for this room. So what do you think, right? Any ideas? There are still a lot of gaps in the evidence, but I'll pull it off somehow. After all, you asked me to prove Blackwell's innocence, right, Edgeworth?
What? He did?
Yep. He called it a special request. He reached out to me while I was still disbarred. I love how they just have regular phone conversations. What's your request?
So that was what sparked you to get your attorney's badge back?
Yep, the Blackwell case. Right, I have a special request. I want you to clear one of my subordinates of suspicion. Hey, I'm not even a lawyer anymore, remember? Haven't been one for a long time. That 8-year misunderstanding has been cleared up. And you must be eager to return. I'm sure you're familiar with the other case that ushered in the dark age of the law. Other case? Wait, you mean that case with prosecutor, like, that case with Christoph Gavin was the first one, and Blackwell's case was the second. Very soon, a convict will stand as a prosecutor in court. I want you to keep an eye on him. Ah, just when I'm beginning to actually like the job I have now. Right. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Because of the espionage aspect, I wasn't free to give you all the details. Hey, no need to apologize. It's like I said on the phone the other day. I know that the type of criminals you're after now aren't small fries anymore. Looks like your target finally decided to make a move. You were calling Edgeworth in that scene! I can't! I just can't. Oh my god. Yes, for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end.
He's the reason you started, and he's the reason you tried to start it again. Oh my god. People are like, why do you ship these two? And it's like, duh. Oh my god. I'm going to end the dark age of the law. That's what this is all about. The dark age of the law.
The dark age of the law. It sure comes up a lot these days on TV and in the papers. And I hear there are more false charges and fabrication of evidence than ever.
When I became chief prosecutor, the court system had already lost people's trust. It all began 8 years ago. A lawyer was caught fabricating evidence. Christoph Gavin! And a year after that, a prosecutor was found guilty of murder.
Wait, do you mean?
That's right. He's talking about my case and Prosecutor Blackwell's. It was a downward spiral after that. An absolute nightmare. After those two cases, the mass media launched an all-out attack on the courts. Public opinion was tainted. And, before long, the legal world itself was sucked into it. Such a shame. When suspicion forms, it's very hard to shake. Lawyers and prosecutors were supposed to trust each other, pursue the truth together.
It's so sad when people begin to cast doubt. They start lying to themselves and each other.
Yeah, and they do absolutely anything to win. We're in an age now where winning is valued far more than the truth. I'm sure it's caused our new chief prosecutor to lose many a nice rest. It's just me, or did his brow get even more furrowed than the last time I saw him? Hostage taker's disdain for the courts is a perfect example of the times. It sure is. You have an idea who the hostage taker might be? Well, somebody who mistrusts the court system and who can manipulate robots. It can really only be Aura Blackwell. Who else but her would want a retrial of that case from 7 years ago so badly? Simon Blackwell's older sister, and the owner of this room. I agree with your conclusion. Perhaps she intended to force Miss Sykes to confess. Actually, I think she had a much more horrific plan in mind for Athena. The most important thing is for you to solve UR1 and prove Blackwell's innocence.
And then maybe she'll release the hostages.
I'm calling you, Mr. Wright.
No. Retry. Edward would never say Mr. Wright.
I'm counting on you, Wright, to set that prosecutor and those hostages free. And I'll be counting on you in court to help me too. Of course, I'll do everything I can to help uncover the truth. As this is an official trial, I'm more at liberty to be a little unorthodox.
Please don't update the autopsy report! Mr. Wright, are you finished with your investigation?
Yeah, but I'd like you to tell the hostage taker something for me. I have to go to the detention center. I can't start the trial until I've talked to Athena.
She's already given her consent. I'll accompany you to the detention center.
So I'm still being watched, huh? I'll see you in court, Edgeworth. Even if it will be an undocumented trial. It'll be good to face you in court again.
It's been so long!
I believe this is the final piece before the trial starts. She was right by my side only a few short hours ago. But I feel like I haven't seen her in ages.
Oh, Mr. Wright! Athena! And Pearly, too! I knew you would come. After all, the first step is the interview with the defendant.
And because you're my friend, then I was worried about you?
Thanks, boss.
I'm not the only one who's worried either.
Really? Who else?
I saw Miss Woods today. She was so beside herself, she came to fight me. She told me you used to live in the Cosmos Space Center. No wonder you knew so much about the place.
Oh. So you know, huh? I'm I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
That's alright, but there are some other things I'd like to ask you.
Sure, you can ask me anything. I promise I won't keep any more secrets from you.
This is nuts. I just feel so... Ugh. This feels wrong. Tell me about the day Clay was murdered.
I was actually at the Space Center that day. In the Space Museum.
Right where the culprit fled to? That's not good!
I never could fully deal with what happened 7 years ago. But when I saw the center again during the news coverage of the Hat-2 launch, I thought maybe if I went there, things would be different this time. That must have taken a lot of courage to face your past like that.
So I went to the Space Museum the evening before the explosions. This was before the launch pads had been switched. There was a sign that said closed for repairs and they weren't letting anybody in. Yeah, the director couldn't very well switch the pads if there were people in there. She went in anyway.
But I snuck in anyway.
Did you want to see that Hat 1 group photo? The one with your mother in it?
Oh, I did. But what I really wanted to see was her jacket.
That jacket on display, that was Dr. Sykes. That's what I presumed as well.
I should have known if it would be so easy to get over such a traumatic experience. The second I saw that jacket, it all came rushing back to me.
She saw the... Oh no, she saw her mother die.
Everything around me went hazy and I couldn't see. I tried to get out of there somehow. But I guess I passed out. When I came to, I was in the passage behind the rocket. I was in the shadows where people couldn't really see me.
Maybe you got confused and went the wrong way when you were trying to leave?
How long do you think you were unconscious, Athena?
I was out until about noon of the next day. Didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into boarding lounge 2.
My mind must have still been fuzzy because my memory is fake after that. I don't remember how I got home.
No memory, huh? This is gonna be tough.
Which means... what if I'm the one who killed Clay?
I think that's enough of that, Athena. Let's talk about something else.
So during the entire incident, she was unconscious in the Space Museum. Of course I believe her. But will anybody else?
What kind of research was Dr. Sykes, your mother, doing?
Machines that could tell people's emotions by their tone of voice. And my special ability. Someday, when people travel to distant planets, their companions will be robots. So she said they had to be able to understand how their human companions felt. Wow! Robots that can understand people?
I was just a convenient subject for her research. All she ever did was work.
And she never paid any attention to me. Oh, sorry about that, dressing up all that old stuff.
No need to apologize, because her home life was complicated. Oh, by the way, Miss Wood said something about you always wearing headphones?
She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones.
I had to wear them every time I went out.
Oh, I hated them so much, but she wouldn't listen. What were they for? Oh, she gave me some kind of explanation?
But I don't remember now. It was too difficult for a little kid to understand. Okay, but let me say this one thing. I don't think your mother only thought of you as some handy subject for her research.
I want to believe that. But just about the only things my mother left me are rigid. And this earring. Ooh, it's beautiful. It's made of a piece of real moon rock she had for research. Maybe she did love me, in her own way.
I'm sure of it. I'm really sure she did. Because that's what I want to believe too. An earring that Dr. Sykes gave to Athena. Stone was cut from a real moon rock that was being used for research. I better ask her a little more about her mother's research. I should show her that paper I found in the robotics lab. I just love Phoenix says I should show her this. And I can show this to her.
Oh, the Ponko series. You must have gone to the robotics lab.
You seem to really love Ponko and Klonko.
Yeah, my mother made them and I grew up around them, you know? Oh, there's one of those cute little robots in this photo too.
See Ponko's bandages? I put those on her. I just wound them around and around. Pretty bad job, huh? But I really put my all into it. I hardly left the center in those days, so I didn't have any human friends besides Junie. I didn't really understand the difference between robots and people back then. I thought that if a robot broke, bandaging it would help it get better. What a weirdo I was.
Looks like there's something written on the bandages.
Yeah, I wrote stuff like, "Get well soon, Ponko."
Oh.
But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash.
Oh, that must be the thing I made move in the robotics lab.
I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looks just like magic to me, what she could do.
The little girl who grew up around robots. She seems to have some good memories of it. That's adorable. It really is. On a different subject, did you hear about the person holding up the Space Center?
Yes, a little. And this person has even taken hostages?
Guess I better spare her the news about Trucy. Well... After some negotiating, we agreed to do a retrial of the case from 7 years ago.
What? You're kidding me! So that means Prosecutor Blackwell might...
Yep, I know he's innocent. I just have to prove it. So wait, did you know him back then?
Yes, he used to come visit my mom a lot. He studied psychology under her and would sometimes ask for advice on his legal cases. He was very kind and considerate, and straight as an arrow.
Unlike now, where he's more twisted than a basket of snakes.
That's why I took the witness stand during his trial 7 years ago.
Oh, right.
Please, you have to listen to me!
Oh.
He didn't kill her! His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her!
I was a fool. How could anybody else know what I was talking about? She heard the voice of his heart.
You were only 11 then, right? You were very brave just to give testimony.
Rose is right. You did the very best you could at the time.
But nothing I said did any good. I was a shaking and scared little girl. Small and ineffectual. Even after I went to live with my relatives in Europe, I stayed close up in my shell. But you're different now. You're always so bright and cheerful.
Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. I wanted to save Simon, but I had no idea how. Then I met Mr. Wright, and thanks to him, I realized that if I became a lawyer, I could prove that Simon was innocent. I also realized that psychology could help me do this. I mean, psychology was my mother's specialty. When I studied it, I felt like she was there with me, supporting me.
Oh. Doesn't seem like Athena knows. That Prosecutor Blackwell is due to be executed tomorrow.
I wanted to prove Simon's innocence personally. I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him.
Come to think of it, she said something like that during Simon's Legal Academy trial. She mentioned there was somebody she wanted to save. It was Blackwell. She must have been talking about Prosecutor Blackwell.
I heard some prison guards say that you had an interview with Simon.
How was he? What did he say? No, I can't tell her. How can I lie to Athena? He was doing well. He was happy about the possibility of being proven innocent.
He was? I'm wondering if he smiled, like he used to. Back then.
Oh. Just imagining a younger version of him with a smile on his face, it's so bizarre. If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in his trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I just have to free him. Failure is not an option here. Ah! Oh my gosh! You made me startle, cousin! Ah, I thought you might be here. Mr. Lawyer, we're in trouble. We are? What is it? I couldn't find a single open courtroom. They're all in session.
Oh no, but this is an emergency!
It's very difficult to interrupt the trial once it's underway. Oh my gosh! My phone! It's from Chusy. I told you I'd give you 1 hour. No! I guess it's time to pick one of the hostages. No, wait! We still have a little more time. Besides, all of the courtrooms are being used right now. Make all the excuses you want, but you won't get more time. Your daughter is No! The poor thing. She's a little too young to die, don't you think? No, don't you dare hurt her! There has to be something I can do. The cruelest injustice is about to befall us.
No, this can't be happening. Mystic Maya, help us!
Wait a minute. Maya?
I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom.
Oh, the exploded courtroom! A courtroom blew up. That's it! There's a courtroom we can use after all. Okay, time's up. Too bad. Any last words you'd like to say to her?
Hold it!
Aura, please don't add to the crimes you've already committed. So you know who I am, do you? It wasn't like I was trying to keep it a secret anyway. We're ready to start the trial. In courtroom number 4. We can hold it in the ruins of courtroom number 4. The one blown up by the bomber.
Oh, what a wonderful idea, Mr. Nick.
I never would have thought of that. An astonishing trial in an astonishing location. I guess it's only befitting. I'll go get the place ready right away. I didn't exactly pick the place for its astonishing factor. How about it? Are you ready to have your brother's innocence proven? My brother? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention? It's not Simon you'll be defending. What? Not Prosecutor Blackwell? I indict Athena Sykes on the charge of murdering her own mother. I freaking knew it. I knew it. You'll be defending the little princess there. The one behind the glass. What? See you in the mountain of rubble you've chosen for a courtroom, Mr. Wright.
Well, what is she talking about? Athena?
Of course. Why did it ever occur to me before? No! No! Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. Somebody else had been the true culprit. Did I kill my own mother? No, you didn't! No! No! What? No! No way! It can't be true. Black Psyche locks? Mr. Nick, what's the matter? I see 5 black Psyche locks! I've seen these kinds of locks before. If they didn't scare me then, they do now. Dark, black locks protecting a secret hidden deep inside a person's heart. And there's no way to remove them. Oh my god. Did she really do it? To be continued.
Oh my god. I have a feeling the next court case is actually going to be very long. Athena's site is actually Christoph Gavin. No, I don't. What a cliffhanger indeed. I think I'm gonna leave it here for today. I'm pretty shaken up by Ashworth's appearance. And I want the whole trial to be finished in one stream. It's gonna be a pretty longer stream, but it will balance on the shorter ones. I don't think there's like an intermission in the next trial. Thanks for the streams. Thanks for coming by. It was a wild ride indeed. So many people showed up. There was a robot revolution. Ashworth appeared. I screamed my lungs out. I would probably make that into like a video or a highlights video. Or if you guys would like to clip it, I wouldn't mind that either. I always appreciate clips. Oh my gosh, I need to breathe. We need the Ashworth reaction. I will make work of that. And if the clip will be made, I can download it and put it on Twitter, so yeah. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be such a... I'm really looking forward to it. I'll see if I'll find a moment later on tonight. Thank you. Well... It's been pretty short of a stream, but I don't think I can finish, like, turnabout for tomorrow, for today, so... I guess we'll have to solve this case next week, shall we? Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I shall update the schedule on Twitch on Monday. So anyone who's not on Twitter, you can check the schedule on there. But I'll post the schedule on Monday on Twitter as well. So I'll see you next week. Bye bye!